Hello, my name is Tony Asquith from Prosperity Lending. I hope everyone is well and adhering to the guidelines and the social distancing recommendations and keeping well. Talk a little bit today regarding interest rates. Seems to be a constant theme in our industry, interest rates. Where are they at? What's likely to happen? Where they are currently compared to where we are, or where they were, I should say, just a few months ago. I think it's generally accepted, and most people are aware that rates now have stabilized somewhat from where they were. When we first entered into the pandemic, and there were a lot of question marks obviously at that point, rates really did go crazy for a while. We were up in the 5s. Now they appear to have stabilized. A lot of refinance business and purchases are being done with rates in the low 3s. If you ever ask a loan officer what is the rate today, you'll probably get a puzzled look, and then he'll give you an explanation, and obviously that initiates more conversation, which really gets to the heart of the matter. But as most people are aware, different loan types, loan to value, loan amounts, debt to income ratios, FICO scores, these all affect interest rates on any particular transaction. Home is Possible and the Nevada rural programs, really competitive rates with regard to what they offer on FHA loans right now. 3.75 will get the borrower 4% of assistance with both Nevada Housing through Home is Possible and also with Nevada Rural, the Home at Last program. And the Home at Last actually offers a 5% rate for FHA with an interest rate of 4.5%. So 5% of assistance, that equates to 5% of the loan amount. Pretty cool. That will cover the majority of the down payment, if not all the down payment, on most transactions, and also contribute towards the closing costs. One thing I would like to mention, there was a fair amount of interest generated within the last month and a half or so, when the Fed announced that they were cutting the rate to the short-term lending rate, that is, to 0. I know I received several inquiries from people interested in finding out where they could go and get the 0% mortgage. Well, as most people are aware, it doesn't exist. But to me, that was a perfect example of the information being out there and really people not being either being able to understand it, but being so clued into that 0% figure that they tended to overlook the rest, where we're just not quite sure what the rest of the message meant. Basically, a rate cut by the Fed has more of an impact on unadjustable rate mortgages. It mainly is related to short-term lending, whereas fixed rates typically are governed more by longer-term lending. So the information from the Fed and the rates that they put out have little or no bearing on long-term interest rates, in other words, fixed rate loans. Talking about refinances in general, many people, especially right now, since we've gone through a period of growth in our values in the Las Vegas area for the last 2-3 years, whatever the period may be, but they're looking to refinance, reduce their monthly payment, access equity, take cash out, pay off debt, as the case may be. But also that's an opportunity for an agent to put the borrower in touch with someone, so long as someone does a good job and finds them a competitive rate and a competitive new monthly payment, then obviously that's a feather in the cap of the agent. So the other thing that was brought to my attention today regarding refinances is that the bigger banks seem to be pulling back in terms of the different incentives and offers that they've provided recently. I've seen advertising for matching prices, closing costs. In some cases the banks will make a contribution towards closing costs, and also offering other incentives to try and get refinance business. Much, if not all of that, actually has gone away. And I believe that our pricing and rates at Prosperity are as competitive as anybody out there in the market right now. Just as an example, this particular client of mine who was looking to refinance with one of the bigger banks out there, one of the biggest actually, without naming any names,
was quoted a rate of 3.5% on a refinance. They also have a 745 FICO score. What was in the hidden print, of course, was the fact that they were going to be paying 1.5% in discount points. Now, I pressed them to get a quote in writing from the lender. They did that. Then I was able to point out that we could not only match the rate, but we wouldn't be charging what they would be paying in discount points. So please encourage your clients to get more than one quote in a lot of cases. And I encourage my clients to do that. I don't want them closing a loan with me feeling as though they maybe left money on the table. Maybe there was a better deal out there. I always want to feel as though they've had a good experience with me, a good experience with Prosperity, and it was as good as anything else they could find out there in the market. So that's just one example of where we are competitive, at least with the bigger banks, and we'd like to make that available obviously to more and more clients, not just on refinances but on purchase transactions also. Anyway, hope everyone is keeping well. Please reach out to myself, Tony Asquith, or anyone in our Prosperity group for information regarding rates, new programs, and anything else out there. Again, stay safe and stay prosperous with Prosperity. Thank you.